What's going on? It's your boy Dolo J, and welcome back to the Kicking the Dolo podcast, a sports podcast where we talk about football and basketball, past, present, and future, top 5, top 10 stats, and more. So without further ado, let's get right back into the episode, man. The NBA playoffs are upon us, and I'm going to go ahead and just make this episode the first episode of season 2. Recently, my 1-year anniversary of starting this podcast recently passed, but due to the fact of moving, families, things of that nature, and a lot of just hardships that I've been going through over the past maybe 2 months. It's been about 2 months since I dropped my last episode, and I know in order to reach the goals that I want and do what I really want to do with this podcast, I gotta be a lot more consistent. This your boy Dolo J. I'm back now. I didn't cut my hair off. I need to get a little, a little tape, but I didn't cut my hair off, man. Different Dolo, different look, a little bit more distinguished, you know what I'm saying? Professional. But I might grow my hair back out, man. I don't really know. But like I said, man, the NBA playoffs are upon us. We have 2 playing games today. We have the Heat and the Hawks, and the Lakers and the Pelicans. Both games are going to be for the 7th seed. Now, in the East, 7 and 8, you'll match up against Boston if you automatically get the 7th seed. And for the Western Conference, you'll be matched up against Memphis. So, we're going to go ahead and just talk about those 2 games to begin. I really feel like the type of run that the Heat have been on lately, I really think they're just going to come in and I feel like they're going to take the 7th seed away from Atlanta. Do I think it's just going to be easy? Probably not. It's probably going to be a little bit more harder. The game might be close. I can see the game being within maybe 7, anywhere from 7 to 2 points. Somewhere in that range. But Jimmy Butler, man, basically it was something I read. I want to say it was either on ESPN or something like that, ESPN.com or on the app. Basically, Jimmy Butler says he doesn't really play for real until the All-Star break, and that's a good way. It's good and bad because sometimes you can put your team in the hole, I would say they're in the hole now, but it's different because they could have had a top 6 seed and possibly avoided all this playing thing, but they still in the playoff picture and they have the chance to make the 7th seed, win tonight, and they probably don't play again till the weekend, maybe like Sunday or something like that. So I can really see them coming out, and also the Hawks given the fact that they started the season pretty good, but they were really 500 basically the entire season. I think it was a stretch of 26 games where they really legitimately went 13-13, and then they'll win the game, lose the game, win the game, lose the game, and then lose the game, then win the game, and then they just stayed 500 throughout the whole stretch. And that's a little too topsy-turvy for me. This is the first season with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. A little bit lackluster. We expected the Hawks probably be maybe at least a 6th seed, given the fact that those are 2 great players. Trae Young, the way he handles the ball and the way he commands the offense, and Murray can do the same thing. Trae Young is more of a shooter than DeJounte Murray is, but DeJounte, he can get hot when he can get hot playing more of the off-guard role as opposed to playing the point when he was with San Antonio. But I believe both guys can, initiate the offense. They still got Clint Capella down there. They still got John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, I believe they still have. So they still have a pretty decent roster. Bogdanovich is, coming off the bench, their shooter. But do I think they can bolster it and possibly, become better? Yes. Now, who they need to get rid of and who's going to take one role, we're going to probably see how that happens. If they don't make the playoffs, how their off-season plays out and things, and what type of moves. They did end up adding Quinn Snyder to the team. I want to say, was it right after All-Star break or right before All-Star break? Somewhere in that time frame. Nate McMillan ultimately ended up being let go. I think it was something between him and Trae Young, and that's been the thing. Trae Young with his coaches, and the reason why he's not been there. I think he's had probably 3 different coaches since he's been drafted, maybe 4. Quinn Snyder might be his 4th coach. But man, the thing with Trae Young and his head coaches, kind of similar to how Rajon Rondo was, even though Rajon Rondo, he was a champion at the beginning, but eventually he ended up butting heads with Boston, and then he was in Dallas and bumped heads, and then he would bump heads with the coach in New Orleans, and I think even on Lakers when he helped the Lakers win in the bubble. I think he was kind of clashing a little bit with the coach. So yeah, but Trae Young, it's gonna be real interesting to see what they do. Now, the loser of this game will play the winner of the Raptors-Bulls game tomorrow. I could really see the Raptors winning that game. The Bulls, they could possibly beat the Raptors depending on how Vucevic plays, how Zach LaVine and DeRozan come out to play, and what's their starting point guard? Do they have Kobe White? I think it's Dosunmu. Dosunmu's a nice little point guard. Oh, that's Twitter. That's just some basketball stuff. But depending on how Dosunmu comes out and plays, and are the Raptors, do they actually really want to play? Like, Siakam's going to have to really do something. Fred VanVleet's really going to have to come and do something. We already know what we're going to get from OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes, you know, a little bit of everything. But, yeah, they two top players got to come play. Probably a disappointing season for both teams, Raptors and the Bulls. Given the fact that Lonzo missed this entire season, most likely he just had surgery again. So he's going to probably miss the entirety of next season as well already. They're saying he's most likely going to miss the entirety of next season. So we're looking at, what, the 2024, 2025 season, possibly. And probably he might not be able to go at the beginning of that. It could be a situation where he doesn't come back until like February 2025. And it's just real sad, bro. Because Lonzo Ball being the first of his brothers to come out, and the type of picture, you know, everybody painted on him saying his dad was doing too much just for, you know, basically believing that his son could do anything. It's really, and then still, him being a top pick, he wasn't really like the franchise player, but he eventually became the glue guy when he went to New Orleans, played along with Drew Holiday, and, you know, it was pretty good. I think Randall was down there, Julius Randall was playing with them as well. You know, he just became a real glue guy, worked on his shot, and just became better. So we're going to pray for Lonzo, man. We're going to pray for Lonzo. Hopefully he eventually comes back into the NBA and, you know, still does his thing. So, yeah. So I have the Raptors winning that game. So it'll probably be the Hawks versus the Raptors. And I can really see the Hawks still, you know, sliding in at that 8th spot. Depending on how Freddie played and how Pascal played. Now, we know Jakob Poeltl's going to give him, you know, he's going to give him probably 10 points, at least 8-9 rebounds. He flirts with that double-double a lot. He's what they needed. But Siakam, he's going to have to pick it up. When he played right, it's easier. It was easier for him playing alongside Kawhi because, one, he wasn't really, I wouldn't say he wasn't really game plan for it like that, but, you know, it was kind of, he was still kind of a mystery, like, you didn't know everything he could do. Now it's been a couple seasons since that, and you know him and Fred VanVleet been the focal point. So, like I said, it's gonna be based up to them whether they can make it into the playoffs or not. But I got the Heat at 7. I got the Hawks at 8. That's what I think is gonna end up riding out for the East. Now let's move on to the West. The 7th versus the 8th seed tonight. We have the Lakers and the T-Wolves. Winner for it's the 7th seed. He plays Memphis. The Lakers also recently signed Tristan Thompson, and the T-Wolves, they did have a little altercation the other day, last day of the regular season, on Sunday, where Kyle Anderson and Rudy Gobert basically got into an altercation. Like I said earlier, basically a little altercation. I believe Kyle Anderson was telling Rudy Gobert to block some shots. Rudy was telling Kyle to grab a rebound, and the B word was flung out a couple times, most likely. And if you're a man, like, if we're not friends, like where I come from, if we're not friends, you can't call me something like that. Even though you probably shouldn't really be calling no man anything like that, especially no grown man, a man that's, you know, a competitor in the NBA and stuff like that. But if we don't really know you or grew up with you, we don't really allow you to call us really anything outside of our name. That's just how me and my friends were. Now, some people, you can't call me that no matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect. And I also seen something, I think it was on Skip and Shannon, I think it was on Undisputed, where I think this is not even Kyle Anderson's first time talking to a player or a teammate in such manner. And I know a lot of people have been calling Rudy Gobert soft and he's this, he's that. He's not a tough guy. You can get over on him. He's not really deserving of the defensive player of the year because he doesn't really anchor a defense. He's just tall and block shot. Oh, y'all like that close up? Oh, hold on. Y'all like that? I get it. Let's stop playing. But yeah, man. It's real crazy, bro. Like, real crazy. Like, right before the playoffs has happened. Now, my Clippers had a similar thing, but it wasn't two starters. It was two guys off the bench, which I think you could kind of manage more. You could just kind of like not play them together. These are two Timberwolves starters, bro. Two Timberwolves starters. So they said Rudy Gobert is going to be suspended for tonight's game. So if they lose, they will play the winner of the Pelicans and Thunder game tomorrow. Well, the game, they won't. Yeah, the Thunder and the Pelicans play tomorrow, and then the winner of that will probably play like either Thursday or Friday or something like that for the 8th seed. But I got the Lakers winning, even without them adding Tristan Thompson. Just the way they've been playing, the way they've been looking recently. They just look good, man. They look real good. I like how AD's been aggressive. LeBron is coming onto his own. Austin Reeves is doing his thing. They still got Beasley coming off the bench along with Schroeder and Troy Brown. Lakers looking pretty good. Some people say they can come out the West. It all depends on AD though. Like, what is AD going to do? How is he going to play? Is he going to give you 12 points and 6 rebounds, or is he going to give you 25 and 12 or 25 and 16? He doesn't even really have to give you 25. If he could just really just like be a paint presence, how he's been doing like the last back half of the season, maybe last one. I give AD he's been doing good probably about the last maybe 6-7 games. He's not been the AD that we were seeing earlier in the season where he was having like 55 and 22 and all that. But AD's still doing his thing. But he's gonna have to shoulder a lot of the pressure if LeBron wants to be able to coast. Like AD, if for them to win a 4-game series, AD's gonna have to have 3 monster games. Not even 3 really monster games, but 3 very impactful games. He can only have 20 points and 12 rebounds, but if he got like 6 blocks, 3 steals or something like that, and he's just deterring shots at the rim and making it very hard for the opposition to come in there, then yeah, I can see that. And then, LeBron's going to do his thing, get his rebounds, get his teammates involved, get to the free throw line, get to the basket, maybe even hit a 3 or 2. LeBron's going to do LeBron things. Austin Reeves is going to give you tremendous effort all day, every day. I didn't even bring up D'Angelo. If he's healthy, then oh my goodness, him and the chemistry. It's like he has chemistry with AD immediately. And then, him and Austin Reeves, and now him and LeBron. It's just so it's great, man. It's real great. It's very interesting to see how, if they can stay healthy. And also, they're going to end up matching up against Memphis, who's probably depleted. Well, not probably. Memphis is very, very depleted. No Steven Adams. No Brandon Clark. What is Desmond Bain going to look like? What is Jaren Jackson Jr. going to look like? What is Tyus Jones going to look like? What is John Morant going to look like? Because it's going to be very hard. They're very thin at the center position right now. I mean, they have Tillman. And, Jared Jackson Jr., he can fill in. But after them two, let's say, and Jared Jackson Jr., he's guaranteed 4 fouls every game. Because he blocks a lot of shots. So, it's going to be real hard to see. We're going to have to see what he does, man. See what he does. See how it plays out. But, yeah. And then for the 8th seed, I got the Pelicans beating the Thunder. Now, are the Pelicans going to be able to contain Shea? That is my main thing. Because who you going to put on? Most likely the Trey Murphy or Herbert Jones. I don't see them putting CJ on. But they're going to have to do something. Because that boy's he probably going to get his 30. For sure. And a lot of people saying the Thunder were taking. They did all this even without Chet Holmgren, who injured himself, I believe, it was some type of exhibition game. Was it Seattle crossover, Drew League, something like that. So, hopefully, Chet puts on some muscle, some lower body muscles and all this, some muscle up top. And we can see what this team really looks like. Also see who they acquire in the draft and stuff like that. But real cool to see the Thunder right now. I thought the Pelicans would be a lot higher. They still was nice. I mean, it was 10th last year and, made it. But Zion, again, averaging only, 29 games a season is really hard again. Because I think with Zion in the lineup, the Pelicans are possibly a top 5 team in the West. Possibly. It was very hard for teams to stop them. But also the West has been shooken up a lot. You got KD and Phoenix now, so him, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. If Aiden just be half of a big man and just grab some rebounds and deter a couple shots, Phoenix is dangerous. Because how you guard it? How do you guard it? You can't double Chris Paul. I mean, you can't double Kevin Durant. You can't double Devin Booker. You can't double either one of them. Because somebody's open. You gonna leave Aiden down there in the paint by himself? No. Man, 7 feet tall. Chris Paul and probably Torian Craig or Josh Okogie or something like that. They're gonna whichever one of them fits into that rotation, but that's who's gonna be probably the 2 main scorers. But Chris Paul just had a game where he hit 7 threes. So now what? What do you do now? What do you do now? You like Torian Craig or Josh Okogie, like the main scorer. Phoenix is real dangerous, and they matched up against my Clippers. Now I don't know the status of Paul George. He did sprain his knee with about maybe 2 or 3 weeks left in the regular season. It's about around this time for him to be evaluated. Now I think yesterday he did make an announcement about his knee on his podcast. I didn't check it out, but I know either not the last game of the regular season, it might have been the game before, where he was walking. He had like a little brace on his knee, but he was walking, bro. So hopefully he could possibly come back. I'm thinking game 3 maybe. Game 3 is possibly when we can see Paul George back in the lineup. But it's gonna be very hard. It might be the most interesting series right now in the first round. I have them being very interesting, and depending on what how the Knicks shape up against the Cavaliers, what's Brunson and Randall's status for that one. I like that one as well. Them probably gonna be my 2 favorite ones in the city. 2 favorite ones in the first round for each side. The 4-5 matchup each side, I think, has a chance of going either way. I'm not really gonna pick winners yet. I'm probably gonna wait till I'm not gonna pick winners for the first round. Yeah, I think I might actually wait. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait till after all the playing games and all the games are locked in to do some type of prediction of the first round. But after Lakers getting the 7th seed, I actually have the Pelicans getting the 8th seed. So I will, talk about my playing prediction. That's how I feel like it's gonna go. So I have the Heat over the Hawks. I have the Raptors over the Bulls. So Heat at 7, and then Raptors versus Hawks for the 8th seed. I got the Hawks, having the 8th seed. So I have the East pretty much staying put. And then I have the Lakers beating the Timberwolves, and then the Timberwolves will be playing against the Pelicans, in my opinion. I can also see the Thunder win it, but Shea probably just going to drop like 40, 50 points. And that Giddey, if also Josh Giddey and Isaiah Joe can get going as well. Isaiah Joe got a nice shot, man. I like his shot. I like Isaiah Joe's shot for real, man. Nice. He has a nice little stroke. He plays hard. I like it. But the Thunder, they still got a lot of stuff they can build on in next season. Who knows? Next season, they might be a top 6 seed. They're still young, man. They're one of the youngest teams in the league. I think Shea might actually be the oldest player on the team. I think Shea probably is like the oldest player on the team. So that means they're extremely young. But so I got the Pelicans beating the Thunder, and then they beat the Timberwolves and Pelicans. I got the Pelicans sliding in that 8th seed. So it'd be not Mavs, but it'd be Memphis Lakers, and then Denver and Pels. That's what I got. But some more news. Let's talk about LUKA for a little minute. Towards the end of the episode, I think I'm only make this maybe like 23, 24 minutes. Let's talk about LUKA. The front office, Dallas Mavericks, are concerned that Luka might ask for a trade in the summer of 2024. I heard little murmurings and little skirmishes, not skirmishes, but little murmurings of Luka possibly wanting to be traded this offseason. The Kyrie experiment did not work. I believe they went, 4-19, 4-18, 5-18, somewhere. They didn't even win double-digit games. Once they acquired Kyrie Irving, everybody knows that when they did, they were fourth, giving up the haul that they did give up. It's going to be real interesting to see what they do this offseason. Now, I know they said Luka said he's going to try to recruit Kyrie back, and Kyrie said he kind of does want to stay, but he's going to test free agency. Then we have this whole thing where Mark Cuban feels like he wasn't able to really negotiate with Jalen Brunson like that, and he said also that he felt like his parents played a part of him not being able to really like negotiate. But I don't know nobody from Macon. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. But yeah. Basically, he said he felt like he wasn't able to really negotiate with Jalen Brunson this past offseason. Now, a lot of people are saying like should have did it before the All-Star break last season. That way you could have got him for a cheaper price and stuff like that. But yeah, they said they waited it out, and once the Knicks came to the table, of course his dad worked there, and I think the Knicks owner is actually his godfather. That might have played a role in him, going there. Well, it probably was like 85% of the reason why he went there, but also they probably offered him way more money. They gave him $100,000. I mean, not $100,000, $100 million. Dallas, the team that you showed that you can, when Luka was hurt, they beat the Jazz. They almost put the Jazz out the playoffs. They were up 2-1 when Luka came back, or up 1. Yeah, they was up 2-1 when Luka came back. And then Jalen Brunson still helped close some games while Luka was on the court, recovering from, I think he had a calf injury at the time. Yeah, recovering from his calf injury. So I've already shown you that, in the playoffs, I turn my game up. When I get more minutes, I turn my game up. Come on, man. And he probably would have took less from Dallas because, Dallas already was the team that drafted him. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That situation is crazy there in Dallas. But hopefully, Luka gets some more help. They're gonna need some defensive. They're gonna need a defensive anchor down there. I know Mitchell Robinson is somebody who said he wants to leave the Knicks after this season. So I don't know how that would work out. But they said Mitchell Robinson said he wanted to go to the Clippers. So he wants more of an offensive role. But they need somebody down there that gets some rebounds and just anchors the defense. Somebody that can actually get some stops and deter people from the rim. They also need some wing defenders to go along with. They really don't have any because they got rid of Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, Reggie Bullock, he's decent, but as your number one defender, I wouldn't put Reggie Bullock as my number one defender. Maybe my secondary defender, third. You know what I'm saying? Third type of guy that's good. You know what I'm saying? But primary defender, primary top elite defender, no, I'm not gonna put Reggie Bullock in that spot. Now, I'm not knocking him or anything like that because when he was called upon, he did the best that he could do. I mean, what do you want him to do? He can only do the best that he can do. But he's not one of those. I wouldn't even say like Kawhi or Lutez Dort type of players. He's not the type of player that's gonna. I mean, he'll guard him, but I don't know if he'll really deter them or make them have a bad game. The team's best offensive player, especially depending on the height. Like putting him against somebody like Kevin Durant. Oh no, I wouldn't do it. It's barbecue chicken, that Shaq would say. But yeah, man, we're gonna see what comes out of Dallas this offseason. 4th to 11th. And then on the last game where they could possibly have a chance to win, they sit out. Who did they sit out? Basically everybody. And then only play Luka for a quarter. Why? Why are you doing that? Are you just going? It's just like they said 1, 2, 3 Cancun already. They're not bringing Christian Wood back. I don't think Christian Wood was a part of the problem. I understand they tried to make him play center. I believe he's more of a stretch 4 in my opinion than a center. I mean, he can go down there, he can get you some rebounds, plays hard, block some shots, but Christian Wood, in my opinion, is a stretch for it, bro. Stretch for it. But this has been your boy Dolo J, man. Episode 1 of season 2, first day back. So y'all give me a couple episodes under my belt to, get back to how I usually do this, man. But it's been a little minute, almost 2 months. I'm glad to get back to y'all, and hopefully, many more episodes to come. But until next time, peace out.